it's Jessii Vee, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about a very strange mystery of a frozen girl from 1980. This story completely baffled people, doctors, scientists all over the world, and so I had to come on here and tell it on my channel. You guys know how much I love bizarre mysteries, so sit back, relax, and get ready for your mind to be blown. Before I get into this very strange story, I just want to say a huge thank you to Adventure Escape Mysteries for sponsoring today's video. Adventure Escape Mysteries is a must-have collection of mobile games that's packed with clever puzzles, intriguing storylines, and beautiful artwork. And you can download it now by clicking the link down below in my description or by scanning the QR code on the screen. It is available for free in iOS, Android, and Amazon. Be part of the most ingenious escape room gameplay. You get to investigate the environment and interpret clues in order to solve puzzle mysteries, and all of that from the comfort of your mobile device. And there's so much variety, whether you like murder mysteries, epic fantasy stories, horror games, whimsical adventures, or all of the above. And no matter which story you choose, you'll be searching the scenes for clues, unlocking secrets, meeting interesting characters, and solving puzzles. Use your keys to unlock one of the 23 unique stories and dive in the adventure. Use your observation skills, deductive reasoning, and cunning to solve the puzzles to progress and reach new levels. You become a part of these compelling stories. You get to choose your scenario and follow the plot, and your main goal is to solve the mystery and complete the chapter. You can follow the clues and become a top mystery solver. So download Adventure Escape Mysteries by clicking the link down below in my description or by scanning the QR code on the screen and become an escape room expert. I know that you guys all love your mysteries, that's why you're watching this video right now, so I know you will love this game. I really love it. So don't miss out, definitely check it out. And thank you once again to Adventure Escape Mysteries for sponsoring today's video. Okay guys, so let's talk about the curious case of the frozen girl. Jean Hilliard was a 19-year-old girl that was living in the small town of Langby, Minnesota in December of 1980. And at the time, this town had a very, very small population of only 87 people. And all surrounding this small town were forests, lakes, farmland. It kind of felt like the town was in the middle of nowhere. Well, on the night of December 20th of 1980, Jean was making her way home from a night out with friends. She was coming home at midnight and it was minus 22 degrees outside. That is freezing. Her and her friends had been at the Foston American Legion, where young adults in the town typically spent the evening as it was the coolest hangout spot. And her dad's Ford LTD that she was driving home had rear-wheel drive and no anti-lock brakes, which made for a dangerous vehicle to have while driving on a dark, frozen, icy road. So the car unfortunately slid into a ditch. She got out of it and decided to try and walk home herself. She also knew that her friend Wally lived about 2 miles down the road, but as she walked home for some time, she realized his home seemed further and further than she thought. And when she finally saw the lights of Wally's home, everything went black. So here's where things are firstly very sad, but also very, very strange. At dawn, around 7 a.m., Wally woke up and walked out of his house to see this human-sized lump out in the snow about 15 feet from his door, and when he got a little bit closer, he saw that it was Jean wearing a coat and mittens. He knew Jean well because she was dating his best friend at the time, but there she was on the ground in front of his house, frozen solid. She was lying there with her eyes wide open, with frost covering them. And it's just so sad because she had collapsed mere seconds before arriving at his house where she could have warmed up. So he picked her up, placed her on his porch, and he thought for sure that she was dead until he looked closer and saw that there were these bubbles coming out of her nose. So he rushed her to the hospital, which was about 10 minutes away, and her frozen body was so stiff that he actually struggled getting her into his car. So let's talk about this whole medical mystery. When she arrived at the hospital, the attending staff had very little hope for her case. Her skin was so frozen that they couldn't even poke it with hypodermic needles. Like, they'd place the needles on her skin skin and they would break on contact. Her body temperature was so low that it wouldn't even register on a thermometer. Her skin and face were gray, her eyes weren't responding to light. A quote from the doctor was, "The body was cold, completely solid, just like a piece of meat out of the deep freeze." And even though they figured she was dead at this point, medical staff decided to gradually warm her up with heating pads. And eventually they got a faint pulse of 12 beats per minute. And at this point they thought that maybe she was still alive. And about 3 hours after they started to thaw her out, they heard her give this faint whimper. And by midday, she had woken up with full body spasms. And then only a couple hours later, she was fully talking coherently, as if nothing happened. In fact, she was saying that she was more worried about wrecking her father's car. She felt totally normal, but to everyone else, she was definitely a miracle. And there are a couple explanations to tell us why this might have happened to her. Medical science determined that as a person's body cools, blood flow slows down to a crawl, just as it would for a bear in hibernation. And at this point, the body requires less oxygen. And when a person's blood flow increases at the same rate as their body temperature, they often recover. And that's what may have happened with the heating pads they used on Jean, which was basically nothing short of a miracle. If they hadn't thought about doing that, she definitely would not have survived. And Jane now leads a pedestrian life. She suffered no ill effects from her ordeal, and she has since married, had kids, and divorced. The only thing that she changed about her life is that she never drives on icy roads at midnight, which I definitely would not blame her for. Anyways though guys, that is the crazy medical phenomenon that happened back in the 80s. If you want me to do more stories and cases like this, definitely give this video a thumbs up and let me know. And don't forget to click the link down below to download Adventure Escape Mysteries. It's such a good game. You guys definitely won't want to miss it. You can also use the QR code on the screen to download it. But I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!